Okay, hopefully that's better. Yes, okay, cool. The first time I tried to stream tonight, it said it was made for kids, which it's not. There's too many people exploding in this game for me to say that on YouTube. So waiting. Well, okay. I'm just waiting for anyone to see. I'm gonna close my door so my parents can't hear me talking to myself. That didn't work. Anyway, yeah, the last one was made for kids because I clicked the wrong thing. And so as soon as I realised, I stopped. Okay. They tentatively stepped out and looked around.
It looks normal.
There are fish going about their fishy business, or jellyfish floating lazily through the water. There was, however, a blowfish, or at least something that looked very much like one. June's cheeks were puffed out, and her mouth a tiny, intense frown.
Oh, knock it off. It's just like I thought. This part hasn't flooded. Come on, just look around. There's no water here.
June looked around nervously, then exhaled.
You're right. It's not flooded at all.
It's quantum water. It only exists when you don't think it's there, and when you think it's there, it doesn't exist.
See?
But there's a whole lot of water.
Yeah, right on top of us.
What's gonna happen if the ceiling breaks?
Junpei thought about that for a moment. Oh, good luck, Cheeky. Good luck.
We'd probably die.
Oh no. Don't be so casual about something like that.
At any rate, we should probably go back as soon as we can, once we're done looking around down here. Lotus and Santa might already be back.
Okay, good idea.
Now then.
Junpei glanced around the room they found themselves in. The first thing he noticed was a set of thick iron bars. They ran the length of the room, separating the left elevator from the right one.
Iron bars. Well, we can't go over there.
Right.
Then maybe...
In the corner of the room that housed the elevators, Junpei found an opening.
Well...
He walked up to it and stuck his head around the corner.
It looks like there's a long straight hallway down this way.
Something's written on the door at the end. Wait, is that...
Let's check.
Junpei and June set off down the hallway at a brisk clip, somewhere between a run and a jog. Guys, you can see that this is 6 from here. Before long, they found themselves in front of the door. On it was a number written in bright red paint. 6.
I knew it!
This is a numbered door.
And indeed, there was a red bolted to the wall right next to the door.
But we can't do anything with only the 2 of us.
We better head back and let everyone know.
Yes.
Junpei and June turned and headed back to C deck.
Wait, what's this?
On their way back, Junpei noticed the map on the wall.
Is this the map for E-Deck? I should take it with me. Huh, so you guys found door 1.
Zero is so nice leaving maps everywhere. They'd met back up with Santa and Lotus, who had explained what they'd found. Apparently, there was another numbered door on A deck, just like the one on E deck, beyond the door that the Earth key opened. According to Santa and Lotus, there was a 1 on the door.
So now we've located 2 new doors. The 6 door and the 1 door.
You know, it is interesting that E-Deck wasn't flooded.
Lotus was quiet for a moment, lost in thought.
Well, we don't really know if all of E-Deck is safe. We only checked the area around the elevator.
Yeah, even so, it's still very interesting.
You said the 6th door was there, right?
Yes.
Then that means Zero planned all this out, even the sinking. That would have meant some pretty serious remodeling of the ship's interior.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah, they're one of Zero's 9 special interests. We've got the Titanic, we've got maps, we've got puzzles, we've got astrology, and then I guess the other 5 we'll have to find out soon.
Yeah, I wonder how long it took. I can't even imagine how much it must have cost.
It would have been a ton, that's for sure.
Well, that does go along with what Ace was saying. The most reasonable explanation would be that this was done by some organization with access to a whole lot of cash.
Yes, it does make sense.
That thought made them all go quiet for a moment. June bit her lip while Lotus sighed softly to herself and Santa cracked her stiff neck and stared off into the distance at nothing.
Yeah?
I don't think it's a very good idea to stay here.
June looked up at Junpei with large pleading eyes.
Yeah, you're right. Ace and his team might be back already.
Well, Junpei and I should be able to open door 1.
Huh? You guys leaving me behind?
It is, you're right, Shiki, it is actually 999 special interests.
Just kidding. All right, let's go.
Lotus's words were all the impetus they needed. Back to the large hospital room they went. The moment they stepped inside, a tremendous voice echoed across the room.
Hey! Where the hell did you guys go?
It was Seven.
7?
Ace was right behind him, and Clover was behind Ace, although she seemed to be hanging back. Why are you guys upset? We just left you without saying a word.
What's wrong?
It looked as though there was something strange about them. Seven had the look of a man who'd seen a ghost. Ace was just as pale, and Clover looked as though she was only moments from passing out entirely. For a long moment they simply stood there, looking at one another. Junpei looked around nervously, waiting for someone else to speak. No one did. He looked at Seven.
What happened?
What the hell kind of question is that?
Seven was trying very hard to be angry, but something had shaken him hard. His shoulders were trembling and his voice was strained.
Snake is...
Seven couldn't finish. He just looked away, his face twisted by Junpei wasn't sure what. Instead, Ace spoke. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes and spoke.
Snake is dead.
My God.
He died, just as the 9th man did.
Who killed Snake? It was as if all the air had suddenly been sucked out of the room. Junpei felt his heartbeat quicken, and he realized he was having trouble breathing. He could feel cold sweat beading on his forehead and neck. June, Santa, and Lotus looked the way he felt. All three were frozen in place, their faces white.
Oh my god. That's not true, is it?
We should make sure.
Yeah, right. We should.
They nodded to one another and headed for the number 3 door.
Wait! Not that way.
What? What?
They stopped short and turned to look at Seven. He was pointing at the door with no number.
I stuck a screwdriver in there to keep the door from closing all the way. It's not locked, so you can go in that way.
Where is he?
Shower room. Left side of the hallway.
Oh, you found some books, Way. That's cool. Are there any... What books are you currently reading?
I put a broom in there too to keep the door open.
That means we can get in without going through the numbered door, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then let's go.
Their new destination clear, Junpei and his companions headed for the door with no number. Once in the hallway, it was easy to spot the metal door on the left wall.
This wasn't open when we passed here before.
But now, just as Seven had said, there was a broom stuck between the door and the frame, keeping it open.
Well, let's keep going.
They looked at it for a moment, then stepped inside.
Oh, it smells horrible.
Rose just wrinkled her nose and covered her mouth in disgust. Even Santa pinched his nose shut.
Oh, yeah, this is pretty awful. I feel like I'm gonna puke.
It was just as bad as they said, perhaps worse. A hideous smell filled the air, so thick they could almost taste it. It was sour and smelled of fish, feces, and burnt meat. It worked its way through Junpei's nose and down his throat to pound against the entrance to his stomach.
Ooh,
He put his hands over his mouth and struggled to keep what little was in his stomach where it belonged.
Oh. Where is he? Where's Snake? There.
There was blood everywhere, a few arms of the splatter reaching towards them as they walked in through the door. All one had to do was follow the many radial arms to their source. The body itself was hidden behind a divider.
June, you should stay here.
But
Please, just do me a favor, okay? Alright?
He didn't give her a chance to say no. He put his hand on her shoulder as if to shove her into the ground like a tent pole, turned and walked towards the end of the divider. Wait, weren't you gonna buy the list books like 3 months ago? I have not heard of Dragon Wings or The Super Life of Ben Braver. Are they good?
I'm going in.
It felt like it took an eternity for him to get there. Santa and Lotus followed, timid and nervous as a pair of children. Eventually, they reached the divider. They looked at one another and nodded slowly. Junpei put his hands on the divider and peered around the corner. For a moment, he forgot to breathe. He felt his heart collapse in his chest like an empty cigarette carton, and time froze. He knew in that instant that he would take the image before him to the grave. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh, torn from the body, sat in the blood like tiny islands in a great red sea. A vast ragged hole had been torn in the torso, and what remained of his intestines spilled out of it like fresh spaghetti. Smaller chunks of meat had splattered against the wall and become stuck there as they dried. Globules of yellow fat had left trails like tiny slugs. Slug mention! As gravity pulled them down the wall, even as they dried to it.
Just like Ace said.
Santa's voice was strained. Junpei suspected he was holding down some vomit of his own.
Just like the ninth man. The detonator in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gut.
It looked as though the explosion had been quite powerful.
Oh god. The bone is coming out of his left arm.
It's definitely an open fracture.
Clover's in the other room, but she has almost certainly already seen this. His legs were both bent in an odd, unnatural way, and his left arm had split open, exposing the painfully white bone of his ulna. His bracelet lay next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to have shattered the display, which lay on the ground in pieces.
Oh, the face. It's horrible.
Yeah, can't even tell who it is.
Okay, so with that sentence, this is not Snake's body, this is some other body. This is probably the 9 guy again. Half of his head had simply collapsed. The blood coating almost made it look like raw pizza dough covered in tomato sauce. Dude, that is the second time that you have used food to describe this, Junpei. Is there anything you want to say to us? His clothes, too, were covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with the yellow piping, the grey slacks.
What the clothes are.
They were all familiar to Junpei.
No mistake about it. It's Snake.
Lotus's voice was unnaturally deep and strained, and Junpei heard it catch in her throat. Should have gone through door number 3. The squeal of tortured metal made Junpei's teeth curl. It sounded like the noise a ghost would make. No matter how many times he heard it, he never got used to it. Every time it put him on an edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head drooping listlessly on her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as if even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces.
Snake was probably murdered. Chances are he was killed the same way the ninth man was.
Seven lowered his voice, likely in an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and Seven. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. Seven looked at each one of them in turn and continued.
It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3. Then they shoved him into it, alone, and waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was all over for Snake. But he probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in uses the dead. Snake was the only one who went through the door, and then 81 seconds after he was shoved in, that happened.
I see. So that's what you meant by killers, huh? You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake.
When the letters on the wall, how would he have written the letters? They were like L and R, right? Lotus and... I don't think any of them start with an R, do they? I don't think it is Lotus, but... The bomb detonates and kills you like instantly. There's no way he would have been able to write like those letters on there. So there must have been someone else in the room with him at some point, right?
It wouldn't open for Snake and a single killer.
Yeah, that means we're looking at multiple perps here.
Junpei crossed his arms and grunted.
Well, just in case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think. Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
Then that means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah, but what would left and right mean? This is fascinating. It's gonna be like... It's gonna be some insane like chemical name or something, and it's like, oh, I've shown it to Eleanor, so now you can tell.
Yeah, that means anybody could be a killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
June seemed shocked.
How can you say that so casually? You're implying that one of us is a killer.
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven? What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know?
What Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it?
Why are you... Dude, Ace, you have to be less suspicious.
Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner, and those who don't are the losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Then you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
Yes. That is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship. Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake...
Yes. Almost certainly Zero himself. If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us.
Ace fell asleep after Snake went missing and was alone in the room for a while and then woke up while still alone, I think, and then we came back and saw him.
Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
Good question.
Junpei hadn't really considered that.
If Zero killed Snake, then Zero is on the ship with us.
Is Zero still on the ship with them? Do I think Zero... Do I think Zero is the kind of person to stay on site? See, the logical thing is to not stay on the ship with the people that you're about to drown. But Zero loves the Titanic. I'm not sure.
Something's still strange.
Hmm? What was that?
Well, I'm just wondering about one thing.
And what's that?
How can you be so sure that Zero's on this ship?
Ace's eyebrows shot up.
Really, Junpei? I confess I'm a little disappointed. Usually you're rather sharp. Isn't it obvious?
Wait, it is?
This ship.
Huh?
Zero said, this ship, several times when he addressed us.
If I had to guess the characters that know something about the game, number 9, obviously. Snake is suspicious enough that possibly. Don't think Clover does though, despite her brother knowing, maybe. It's literally not proof. And then Ace, maybe. I think 7 knew before he got amnesia. And then I don't think Lotus would like hide it, and I feel like Santa would have accidentally said something.
If he weren't here, he wouldn't say this ship, would he?
Dude.
He'd be saying something like, that ship, or the ship.
Yeah, but those don't sound nearly as dramatic. Obviously you would still say this ship.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. Ace's explanation made perfect sense. It did not. Junpei felt a little foolish that he hadn't seen it himself. Still, he was left with a question, and it was one of no small importance.
If Zero's on the ship, where is he?
Suddenly, everyone went very quiet. Listen, Santa let June talk about freezing chemicals while freezing to death in a freezer. I feel like Santa's like had some involvement but didn't know it. So he'll be like, "Oh, that makes sense." Like at the end of the game, but like he doesn't know that he knows. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. Again, he heard the ghosting moaning noise. And moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. She looked at the floor as she spoke, and her voice was a cold monotone.
I think Zero is one of us.
Every human body in the room froze. The only sound was the muffled rustling of breath. Eyes darted from face to face. One of those faces was the face of their jailer. But who? Was he one of them?
Well, that's possible.
Huh?
Like Clover said, Zero might be one of us.
We may have an imposter among us.
What are you saying, Jumpy? Didn't you hear what Ace said?
Exactly. I said we shouldn't suspect one another for no reason.
No reason. I've got a great reason.
And what's that?
The bracelets. Why are the bombs in our bodies connected to the bracelets? You're all thinking Zero's hiding somewhere watching us, right? If he's doing that, then he could just detonate the bombs by remote control if someone did something they weren't supposed to. It would be a lot more precise and a lot easier. But if that's the case, then why is the bomb set off by the detonator in the bracelet?
Huh. You got a point.
I'm not done. Try applying the same ideas to the Nonary game.
What button is it to see the thing?
puzzles here run all by themselves. In other words, Zero doesn't have to be controlling them for the game to move forward. Why's that? Why would Zero bother to do something like that?
Junpei let the question hang in the air and looked at the others. It was Santa who answered.
So let's say you and Clover are right. Zero's one of us. If that's the case, then it'd be really hard for him to keep track of all of us or control anything remotely. That's why all the puzzles run by themselves. That's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
Seven, when we were talking earlier, you said any one of us could be Snake's killer, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Alright then. I've got a question for you, Ace. You said something like Zero must be the one who killed Snake, right?
Yes, something like that. I can't think of any
Well, it
other
would have to be-
explanation.
There'd be two killers.
So what do we get if we combine those? They fit together pretty well, I think. Something like this. Whoever killed Snake is Zero. Hence, Zero is one of us. Seven and Ace's theories aren't mutually exclusive. They actually complement each other pretty well. At least they do if Zero is one of us.
No one spoke. Their faces were grim, but Junpei wasn't sure if they believed him or not. Finally, Lotus spoke up.
What were his motives?
His motives?
Yes, isn't that pretty important? Why would Zero want to hide as one of us?
Oh, well, that's because...
It's because he just loves the Titanic. He's always wanted to be in a Titanic simulation. Junpei choked. He hadn't thought of that, and he had to be honest with himself. He had no idea.
I don't know.
Lotus sighed.
Well, so much for making a persuasive argument, Junpei.
In other words, you only had circumstantial evidence.
I don't really think that's enough to go on, you know?
Ah,
Junpei was painfully aware of their eyes on him and their disapproval. He tried to find something else, anything else to look at. Then in that horrible silence, they heard a bell begin to ring. It was the clock at the central staircase.
It's 3 in the morning.
That means we have 3 hours left.
Then we need to move now. Seven, Clover, Junpei, I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you?
But like, sorry, I'm just thinking. It's not that anyone could do it, because surely there's only so many results that would come in the correct number, and we already know one of the numbers is 2.
you're right, but...
Junpei couldn't bring himself to respond. He swallowed the words he wanted to say and sighed. Seven and Clover remained similarly silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else, very far away.
We must go. We have very little time left.
Ace's words put their feet to moving. I don't know where they were going.
Our next destination is Mercury.
But maybe you and June should check it out first and then report back to us.
All right, let's go, June.
Right. Here it is.
It sat, bolted to the wall near the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen between the 2 elevators. Like, he went through door 3 and then he came into the room that... So it's 2 plus... 3 plus... It would be 9. Right? Whoops. There. Whoops. Yeah, so it can't be Ace. It's 9. Yeah, so it's Snake. It could be Snake, Clover, and Akane, or Snake, Santa, and Seven. Those are the only options, right? Oh, unless Zero is involved, in which case it can be Snake. No, because... Wait. No, because it can be like 4 people. Whatever.
The Mercury card reader.
We're using the card 7 gave us, right?
Yeah,
I found it when we were checking out the shower room.
I think 7 said something like that. Anyway, let's see what happens.
Junpei slid the car through the reader. The light on the reader turned green and made a tiny electronic noise.
I guess the elevator works now.
Jumpy, I know it's only the 2 of us, but let's do our best.
What's with you all of a sudden?
Well, I'm happy we were put together.
You know it's just for searching E-Deck, right?
Even so, I'm glad I'm with you.
Oh. First, we need to find out if the elevator comes up full of water.
Just like we did before.
Oh, here it is.
I knew it. It's not wet at all.
Let's go.
Yes.
Once it had been checked for water, Junpei and June stepped into the elevator.
Look! Nearly all of the buttons are destroyed.
Yeah, only the seat and bottom button can be pushed.
We're on C deck right now, so the only one we can choose is bottom.
Yeah. Well, let's try it out.
The door closed. Slowly, they began to move downwards.
Oh, so this is the bottom deck.
They stepped off and saw that the hallway to their right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end, but not a regular dead end.
Hey, over there.
This is a numbered door.
This is the 8th one we found. There were 2 numbered doors on B deck near the central staircase. They were doors 4 and 5. 3 more in the large hospital room. Doors 3, 7, and 8.
And the door we found on E deck, and the door. It was a 6 on the door on.
That means...
Do you think the next door we find?
Yeah, I think so. The next one's gonna be door 9.
Despite himself, Junpei felt excited. There was something about that excitement that frightened him as well.
Finally!
Yeah,
You don't look very happy about it, though.
it's not that. I just hope nothing goes wrong.
You're right. We should keep our fingers crossed.
Let's head back.
Wait, what's your favourite number?
Okay.
He did his best to put it from his mind and headed back to C deck with June.
One, 2, 3, 4. All right, 7 pieces.
The pieces of paper they'd folded up lay on the ground next to Junpei's legs. Everyone had written on a paper pulled from Junpei's notebook in an effort to pull together a blind fight.
Just double checking, but everyone wrote their code name and a door number they want, right?
Yes, just like you told us earlier.
7 is a fine number. My favourite number is 3. Cheeky, favourite number?
Can't believe we're voting here.
Why have they decided to vote that way?
We need to make the whole thing fair, blah-de-blah. This is a complicated plan, you know. Hurry it up, Mr. I have a brilliant idea.
They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors.
Yeah, quiet in the peanut gallery.
And he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the pieces of paper.
All right, let's open these up. The first one says, Ace requests door 1.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going.
Guys, we have 3 hours left. Surely we can get through these doors.
Next is Santa. He wants door 6.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Junpei continued with the third, fourth, and fifth pieces of paper.
Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2.
Wait a minute. There is no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man.
Gah!
No, there'd be no point to the voting if we let people change their choices because of stuff like that.
Get a load of cheeky ways. She doesn't even have a favourite number.
But,
Just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma.
I am not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes.
Barely.
So, last I checked, that's not a crime.
Maybe. But what about... Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you!
Guys, Snake has actually been murdered.
Not good.
Lucius's hair flared out like the mane of an angry lion, and she roared with a voice that shook the walls.
Let go! Let go of me! I'm killing him!
With some difficulty, Ace managed to restrain her.
Junpei, read the rest.
Right.
Junpei tore his eyes away and looked down at the sixth piece of paper. He opened it.
June wants door 6.
Yes, I don't really have a reason. I just felt like it.
All of the papers, save Junpei's, had been read. He did some quick calculations in his head.
So this was everyone's vote. Ace and Clover requested door 1.
This was the door on A deck near the central staircase.
7 and Lotus requested door 2. Santa and June requested door 6. Then the door I should choose is...
Took him less than a second to run the numbers. Jesus, man, this guy's so good.
Okay, the last one is mine.
Wait, Lotus is angry because 7 called her old.
I want to go through.
Oh god, fuck, he's shit. Fuck me. Alright, hold on. Oh my god, I don't know. Okay, Santa and June, you guys will be okay together. I kind of want to keep Clover away from Ace, just because he talks so suspiciously. But I also want to see what's behind door 2. Hold on, Ace. Okay, what is saying that choose 2? Okay. I'll give you this one way, because I did choose a door based off of Cheeky's suggestions previously.
My choice is door 2.
Hey, wait a minute there. You cheating?
Cheating?
I'm asking if you changed your number after you heard what doors we wanted.
How could I do that? I wrote it down on the paper earlier.
Let me see that.
Sure, here.
Junpei shrugged and handed it to him. As they did, Junpei quickly slipped the piece of paper he'd been hiding into his pockets. Though he'd never known now, Santa had been justified in his suspicions. Junpei had switched papers.
I had 3 pieces of paper ready,
For doors 1, 2, and 6.
and I put the one with door 6 on it into the pot.
He put a small mark on it so that he would know which one was his.
I just needed to make sure I drew last. After I saw everyone else's result, I just chose whatever door I wanted. If the number I'd already put in matched, then I didn't have to switch the paper out.
Well, what does it say?
He felt the urge to smirk. Santa snorted and tossed the paper aside, frustrated.
Alright. So we know who's going through door 2. It'll be me, Lotus, and Junpei.
Yep.
The only problem's the other 2 teams.
June and I want door 6.
Clover and I choose door 1.
That's not good. We can't open either of those doors with only 2 people.
Everyone was silent.
Why don't Santa and June go into door 1 with Ace? Huh?
Well,
No, Junpei's not Zero, he's, fuck, I don't remember what number he is. Alright, we've got Ace, Snake, 3... Is Junpei 3? No, 3 is Santa, right. Then it's Clover, 5 is fucking, Junpei maybe 5. 6 is June. 7 is 7. 8 is so Junpei is 5.
And what will you do, Chloe?
I'll be waiting at the stairs. You guys are coming back here, right? That's what 7 was saying, wasn't it?
This had been what 7 had said.
We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. That's how the notary game works.
I'm sorry, but I just want to be by myself for a while.
That's fair, Clover. Your brother did just die. Ignore what I'm doing right now. So if we all make it out, we can all make it. Oh wait, actually, because never mind. But if if we can cheat the system and all go through.
You'll understand, right?
There's no emotion on her face, but it was drawn pale and her eyes were red. No one has the heart to contradict her. The room grew very quiet. Silence drifted down over everything like a blanket of fresh snow. It was Santa who finally spoke.
alright. I'm going through door 1. That alright with you, June?
Yes.
Well, we'll be going then.
Let's move too.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go.
And just like that, their paths were set.
I won't see June for a while. This was my choice. I'm just going to have to suck it up. 7 said we'd all see each other again.
He took strength from that thought.
The other group went to A deck to go through door 1. Clover joined them. Our group is on our way too. We're heading to the bottom deck. I wonder what we'll find down there.
They stopped off the elevator and headed for door 2.
We ready?
Yeah, and
I'll go first.
One by one, they put their palms onto the recognition device, and 3 asterisks blinked to life on its screen. Yo,
Let's
Bumblebee
go.
from Transformers. Bumblebee rules. The door opened, and they leapt inside.
Where the hell is it this time?
I don't see it.
Oh, there it is! It's right there!
Fortunately, it took them only moments to find the dead. It had been placed just inside the room, right next to the numbered door. They gathered around it and quickly scanned each of their bracelets.
It stopped.
Yeah, it stopped.
Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. 7 and Lotus were breathing hard and fast.
Man, I'll never get used to that.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
Damn right.
Alright,
Junpei looked around again.
this hallway's pretty short, but it's got 5 doors. 3 on the left, and only 1 on the right.
Don't forget the last one at the end of the hall.
But it's got a metal plate over it, so I doubt we're gonna get anywhere that way.
After taking a look around the room himself, 7 spoke.
Alright, let's get started. I think we'd probably better split up. You okay with that?
Yes, no problem.
Sure thing.
Then I'll take this first one.
Seven nodded to them and stepped into the room closest to him.
I'll try the one next to it.
At last, Junpei was left alone.
Well, I guess I'd better get started too.
He looked intently at the remaining 3 doors. Insane lore drop room. Damn it to hell. Oh, that's great. Hey, where's there a portal in this mirror? Okay, so... Okay. Appears to be handprints. So I'm gonna say someone was confined in here and losing their absolute mind. Do not rage against the dying of the room. Okay. We'll need screwdriver in order to open the thing. Okay. Yes, okay, so there's a circle, now there's a line. Cube-shaped water. Moon. What's that? Okay. Let's check this bed. This one has... Yeah, okay, so there's circle, line, and now there's circle and line. Okay, is this... Okay. Oh! Oh no, is that a mirror? That's weird. Okay. Flick the light. 47. 47. Okay, okay, 47 sun moon. 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 Okay. Emergence. Let me see if I can examine the first toilet again. No, okay. So I can examine here. Okay. So this one has the sun. Okay. Let me check the drawer. Okay. Okay, so it'll be the dark rooms thing that's opened. Stop racing in the water. A little late for that. There's a couple floors below us are already completely demolished. Okay. Yay! Okay. There is no way I'm gonna remember that pattern. Wait! Yes, I can. 14 times 3. One 4 times 3. Maybe. I don't know what other numbers could be there. Oh, that's just 14 again, but rotated. Okay. 14. Okay, what's this sink like? Squared is oops. $196. 7, okay. Oh, wrong room. Oh, okay. If I use the thing to get the thing. Oh, okay, never mind. Maybe if I use this to open this? Okay. You never know. Okay, let's just double check everywhere. Oh, use the handle. The handle. Use the handle. Okay. So, new mission is to find something that... Okay. I've been checking the beds. Oh boy, here we go. I didn't click on this chair. Yeah, I just have to find whatever it is that I haven't clicked on. I'm gonna try to lose. Oh, shut up, Junpei. So I need a knob to open that, and I need a thing to open that, but I don't know whether it is. Oh. Okay, this is gonna be easy. Okay. Okay. It's interesting. Oh, I know, because he said that in the other one there seemed to be something, but he couldn't find it. Okay. Yay! Oh right, I need to do the thing. With the thing. With the tap. Okay, so I still need to find something. Oh my god, Cheeky. Dude, suddenly I feel like I'm a god at puzzle games. Oh, maybe if I use the screwdriver to undo this screw. Oh no. Yeah, but I'm clicking on everything that I can. (14 equals E). What haven't I clicked on? Okay, ceiling? Whoa. 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 Okay, so in my defense, I maintain that you should be able to use the towel to open to turn the tap on. Oh, wait. Wait, I think I understand. Because I knew this knob was there, I just didn't know it was full. I'm a genius again. Oops. True. Yay, I got it. Junpei put the wet tile into his pocket. He was about to turn away when there was a noise behind him.
What the?
He spun around to see Seven kneeling on the floor. His face was rigid and pale. Droplets of sweat covered his forehead.
Hey, what's going on? Are you okay, man? You're sweating like crazy. Are you all right?
He was concerned. He'd never seen Seven like this before. Slowly the other man lifted himself to his feet on shaky legs. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just got a little dizzy, that's all.
His face was pale and his breathing was heavy. Sweat was pouring off his face and staining his shirt.
That's definitely more than just a little dizzy. Are you sure? You don't look so good.
Seven didn't answer. Half of his face was twisted, as if distorted by extreme pain, and his eyes were glazed. Finally, he spoke.
What am I doing here?
Huh?
His words made no sense.
What are you talking about? We opened the number 2 door and walked in here. Don't tell me you forgot.
No, that's not what I mean.
He shook his head several times, as if trying to clear something from it.
It ain't much, but I think some of my memories came back. I think I've been here before.
Huh?
I said I've been in this room before.
You were here?
Aoi. Like, Nona.
Suddenly, Seven was mumbling to himself. They were words Junpei didn't understand. Seven's hoarse voice trailed off, and Junpei couldn't make out what he'd said.
What the hell was that?
Seven's brow furrowed furiously, and he ground his teeth back and forth.
It's right there. I feel like I'm this close to remembering everything, but I just...
Seven stopped, frustrated. He pulled his hat off and ran a hand through his hair. Then suddenly he looked up, his eyes wide.
That's right, an experiment. There was some kind of experiment going on this ship.
If you guys heard that, that was my fucking dad. Back to fucking ruin my social life. First he eats a melon so loudly that it can be picked up by going... And now he does the loudest fart you've ever heard.
An experiment? What sort of experiment?
They were trying to control people. Or something like that.
What the hell are you talking about?
Junpei didn't know what to make of Seven's story. Instead, he simply stared as Seven continued.
Aoi, Light, and Nona. Those were their names. Well, some of them. The kids that were in the experiment, I mean. I think there were 4 or 5 more, but I don't remember all their names. Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm here.
Seven began to mumble to himself and wander aimlessly about the room. He looked confused. So far as Junpei could tell, the man was simply rambling, and there were odd twitches to his movements.
Experiment. Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Those kidnapped kids. Was I working that case?
Seven continued to mumble to himself about things that meant nothing to Junpei.
Huh?
Junpei didn't have any answers for him, of course. He couldn't understand what was happening to Seven. All he could do was wait. After a few minutes, Seven finally stopped. No, yeah, guys, that was my dad in another room.
Wait, under this bed.
I'm so excited for this Cradle Pharmaceutical stuff. I love evil medicine. He crouched down and looked under the bed. His face lit with the mild of the quiet, and he began to mumble to himself again.
Oh home's gone? No, maybe it was a different room. There's gotta be a ton of rooms on this boat that look just like this one.
At last, Junpei could contain himself no longer.
Hey, what exactly do you remember? Maybe you could stop talking like a crazy person and tell me what's going on here.
Seven stood up slowly.
Well, it's not like I really remember everything. I've only got bits and pieces, and they're scattered. Don't make much sense.
I don't care. Tell me the bits and pieces.
You know me too well, Cheeky. Junpei could feel it. Whatever Seven had remembered, it was important, very important.
Okay.
Seven drew a large muscled hand down across his face. As he wiped the sweat from his brow, he spoke.
From what I can remember, I think I was a cop.
A cop?
Yeah. I was looking for that group of kids that got kidnapped 9 years ago. You remember that, right? It was all over the news.
Yeah, I was still in school. I don't remember all the details, but I do remember some of it. I think it was a bunch of kids right around my age. They all just disappeared. Nobody knew why.
It's just so true to life. Pharmaceutical companies are absolutely batshit.
It was all over TV and the newspapers every day.
Seven, I'm afraid you're gonna have to go. Hey, cab after all. Oh wow, it's crazy. I wonder if there's anyone Junpei knew that age that vanished, or that he stopped seeing after that age. That's
So
crazy.
you're saying you were investigating it?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I guess I found something. There was this medical company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals that had something to do with those kids. After I figured that out, I managed to get some information out of somebody who worked for them. I think it was...
Tonight, a ship is set to take the children to a large passenger liner docked offshore.
Yeah, that had to been it. That's why I went to the wharf. In the shadows, I searched the harbor until I found the ship he was talking about. There was a bunch of movement there. Men in black suits, many of them carrying large bags. Bags. There was something about the way they moved as they were carried. No doubt about it. There were human beings in those bags.
Yeah, they are. Pharmaceutical companies are absolutely insane. Like, half of them were created by Nazis. And the other half were created by former Nazis. It's fucking crazy.
I moved before I realized it. I came out of hiding, my gun already in my hand.
He's gonna
Don't
accidentally shoot
move.
the kids.
I felt metal touch the back of my head. Dropped the gun. Kept digging the cold metal thing into my skull. There was nothing I could do. Did what he said and laid my gun on the ground. Then suddenly, there was a sharp pain in my neck. A needle.
If I don't sound very excited, it's because I'm so excited that I need to get through this to get more information about these guys.
A drug? That was my last thought. My face hit cold concrete. I was out like a light after that. I woke up on a hard floor. Damn it. Shit, my head hurts. Where am I? A small, shabby bed, and a toilet with no privacy. I'd seen it countless times as I'm in a cell, huh? Facing the toilet was a door set into the wall. I was still pretty woozy, but I made my way over to it. I pushed and pulled on it, but... it won't open. Not like I expected much else. It would be dumb enough to put me in a cell and leave it unlocked. Threw myself against the door a few times, but it wouldn't budge. I knew it. I gave up and made my way back to the bed. I sat there for a very, very long time. Who knows how long. Then, I heard a faint voice. The voice was far away. I couldn't understand what it was saying, but I could hear one. It was pretty high, probably a little kid. Huh? No, it was... I hear 5, or 6, maybe more. Where? Where are they coming from? I pressed my ear to the wall and tried to listen through it. No, that's not it. Left. It's coming from under the bed? I hauled on the metal frame and flipped the thing over. And there it was. The bed had hidden an air vent under it. The hole in the wall was covered by a metal grate. I dropped flat on the floor and peered through the grate. I couldn't see shit, but I knew it in my gut. This was where those voices were coming from. Why are there kids here?
Come on, Seven, use your brain.
But then what my inside man told me popped into my head.
Tonight, a ship is set to take the children to a large passenger liner docked offshore.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Am I on that ship? It didn't matter. All I knew was I had to get to those kids. I checked out the metal grate. I stuck my fingers in and grabbed it. And then... I finally got the damn thing off. Sweat was dripping down my face. So I wiped it off and crawled inside.
Junpei waited for Seven to resume his story. The longer he waited, however, the clearer it became Seven had no intention of doing so. He had gone silent and simply stared off into the air, his eyes blank.
Hey, what happened after that?
He'd waited long enough, but Seven shook his head.
I don't remember what happens after that. I think I found some kind of door out of the duct. And I think I found some kids, too. Not good. Why can't I remember what happened next?
Ah, man, what happened to the kids, Seven? Did you save them?
I don't know. I don't know if it was me. I've got this feeling. I think one of the kids died. A girl, I think.
Huh?
Deep in his heart, Junpei felt something very cold. Seven's head dropped, and Junpei saw on it a look of sadness, the likes of which he had never seen on the man before. The large man's eyes blinked rapidly as he was fighting back tears, and he swallowed hard. His sigh was like the melancholy setting of an old, abandoned building. He shook his head and spoke.
Anyway, just... please don't ask me anymore, okay? I really don't remember anything else.
After that, Junpei could hardly try to force any answers out of the other man.
It's fine. Don't push yourself.
Going by what he said,
Junpei left Seven to pull himself together, and instead began thinking everything over.
the children who had been kidnapped 9 years before, apparently a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals had been behind it all. They'd taken the children to the same ship we're on now. They'd been brought here for an experiment. Seven said it had something to do with controlling human beings. The 16 children who had been kidnapped were the subject. Seven had said 3 of their names were Aoi, Light, and Nona. I think that's all I got. Oh, and Seven is, or was at some point, a cop. I can't really use any of this information anyway. I didn't learn anything about the Nonary game or Zero. Why were we brought to the same ship where they'd done those experiments 9 years ago?
Come on, Junpei, one of the kids is literally called Nonna.
Just what the heck is this about controlling human beings? That's nuts. Did they really conduct an experiment like that?
Before long, Junpei realized he had spent quite some time deep in thought.
I don't have time to just stand here thinking. I need to get moving.
Junpei shook his head quickly to clear it and returned to his investigation, thoughts swirling in his mind. it! Did I beat your time, Cheeky? They passed through the open door and headed to the next room. Junpei jogged down the short staircase and looked around. Oh, that's not good.
Oh, what the hell is this place?
The words had sprung unbidden to his lips, but it was clear why. Junpei shivered. Lotus and Seven reached the bottom of the stairs and stopped short, terrified.
Ugh, this room is really creepy.
I think we ought to get the hell out of here now.
He jogged up the stairs on the opposite side of the room and shook the door on the wall next to the catwalk. It didn't open, and he muttered to himself.
Figures.
It's locked, isn't it?
Yep. Don't know why I thought this would be any different.
So, what is this room for, anyway?
Junpei looked around the room again.
Well, there's a chair in the center of the room.
Oh, looks uncomfortable to say the least. I'd rather not sit in it if I can avoid it.
The back of it was covered with electrodes connected to a nest of wires.
Looks like it's placed over some kind of glass panel. Too dark to look through it, though.
Junpei turned to look at the right side of the room. There was a table covered with a piece of cloth.
This isn't dried blood on the tablecloth, is it?
On top of the table were a number of metal instruments. Junpei didn't know what they were for, and he had a feeling he didn't want to find out.
Oh, what the hell is this? What are these tools for?
That's not something I even want to think about.
Junpei shook his head in an attempt to clear it, and tried to focus on something else.
No doubt about it. This room's dangerous. Let's make our search quick so we can solve the puzzle and get the hell out of here. Come on.
So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check the power. Oh, torture room, neat. Okay, hold on. 10, 10, 9, 10. What diagram? Okay, so that's the sun. Yeah, there's definitely something under the glass so that the torturee would see it, or so that whoever's under the glass can see it. Oh, hey Jay! We're in a torture room right now. Pretty epic. Sweet, we've got a wrench. Ooh. Key. Okay. Oh, the wall. Okay, EDBF. Oh, EDBF. That's cool. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1. Oh, God damn it. Oh, wait. Okay.
Well, like we thought, it's not going to work unless someone sits in it.
How ironic that this would be the situation in which this slim, beautiful body is useful.
Lotus, are you sure? I can sit in it and you can solve.
Junpei's right. If we screw it up...
Seven couldn't even bring himself to finish the thought. His eyes fell to the floor. Junpei followed them. Nathan was the dead shark, floating underneath the glass. Perhaps it had been killed by an electric shock.
I'll be fine. Even if I fall in, the shark is already dead.
But...
No one likes an indecisive man, Junpei. I can still give you advice from the chair too, you know. I just don't want to stay in this room any longer than we have to. Go over to that screen and let's get this over with.
After her words had made it clear that Lotus would book no argument, she turned and walked towards the chair without hesitation. But she did not sit down. Despite what she had said, she did indeed feel hesitation. Her legs shook.
Look, do you think you could do me one last favor?
Don't say last.
You're making me nervous.
Just listen. If something happens to me, I want you to tell my daughters. Tell them that I loved them very much. No, tell them that I will always love them.
Daughters?
You've got kids?
Yes, I do. I suppose they're about your age, Junpei. They're twins. I had them when I was young after... well, some things happened. Their names are Nona and...
Wait! Nona?
Junpei's words shut out before he even realized what he was saying. He remembered the story Seven had told him.
Aoi, Light, and Nono. Those were their names. Well, some of them. The kids that were in the experiment.
Shit.
But what the hell? What's wrong with you?
Lotus took a step back from Junpei.
Oh.
Seven looked just as shocked as Junpei. He blinked his eyes rapidly as if he weren't sure he was completely awake.
No way. It couldn't. Lotus, is your last name Kashiwabara?
Lotus's eyes went wide.
How do you know that?
You're serious? What the hell is this? There's no way you're that kid's mom.
That kid? Wait, what do you mean that kid? Why are you acting like you've met her?
Seven's brow furrowed.
I have.
What?
Yeah, I met one of your kids.
When?
9 years ago.
Where?
On this ship.
Why were you...
It's not a short story.
Look, I don't care how long it is. Tell me, please, what happened here?
Fine, I'll tell you.
Seven glanced at Junpei, then turned back to Lotus and began to speak. It was the same story Junpei had heard only minutes before, every detail.
But... And then, that was when. From there, it looked like. Just as... Finally. That's all I remember from 9 years ago.
At last, Seven finished. Lotus shook her head.
Oh my god. Everything I've been looking for. For the last 9 years. The person who had all the answers was right here.
Looking for?
Yes, that's right. 9 years ago, my daughters disappeared. Then 9 days later, they came back. They never told me what happened to them over those 9 days. I took them to the doctor, but I was told they hadn't been hurt in any way. Still, I was sure that they had been through something terrible. So I couldn't bring myself to force them to talk about it. If I did, then I'd force them to relive whatever horrors they'd been through. I didn't have any choice. I had to try and ignore it and move on.
Oh.
A few months passed. Gradually, they started to act like they always had, before they disappeared. They smiled and made jokes and did all the silly things kids do. It got harder and harder for me to ask them about what happened. How could I ask them to remember that? Eventually, I knew there was no way I could do it.
Oh.
But I'm still a mother. I couldn't simply forget that something terrible had happened to my children. So I decided I would investigate what happened on my own. I would find out what happened during those 9 missing days.
What did you find out?
Nothing. The police pretended to be concerned, but they didn't do anything. Once the 16 children who'd gone missing came back, things were just... Even the media didn't talk about what had happened. I figured someone was probably paying or threatening them to keep their mouths shut.
Cradle Pharmaceuticals. No, probably something even bigger than that.
Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Have you heard of them before?
No. It's the first time I've ever heard that name. 7. How did you find out that Cradle Pharmaceuticals was connected to the kidnappings in the first place?
I figured finding out whatever the victims had in common would lead me to the culprit. That's what any good cop does.
What did they have in common?
Every single one of the kids who disappeared had gone to this one hospital at some point. The hospital was one of a bunch that were under the control of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. After that, it was just about connecting the dots.
The hospital.
The hospital?
For a while, I was trying to get some kind of information out of the kids at the hospital. One of them told a weird story.
What was it?
Have you heard about the Gansfeld experiment? I guess all these kids had to go through it while they were at the hospital. I think it was passed off as some sort of counseling.
What did you call it again?
Oh, the Gansfeld experiment. This is how it's set up. First, subjects Q and A are put into separate rooms, far away from one another. Then a series of video images are shown to subject Q, who is told to send the images to subject A by thinking about them. Subject A, on the other hand, is put in a large reclining chair and given a blindfold. With their senses cut off, A is asked to guess what images Q is looking at.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that. It's a famous telepathy experiment, isn't it?
That's how the experiment on this ship was supposed to work.
The experiment to control people, right?
Yeah, I don't know if any of the telepathy stuff really exists, but maybe someone from Cradle Pharmaceuticals bought into it.
Seven has been thinking hard for the last several minutes and finally spoke.
Even if that is the case, I still don't get how that has anything to do with any of this. The notary game, Zero, why we were kidnapped. What does any of that have to do with telepathy? I know I brought all this up, but maybe none of this stuff is connected after all.
Then, in that moment of silence, cold voice echoed down from the ceiling.
No subject has been detected. Unless a subject is detected within 60 seconds, all power will be shut down. System recovery is estimated to take 1 hour. If you wish to proceed with the experiment, please seat subject in the restraining device.
Whoa, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going.
Oh, no, that's not what we...
Just hurry up and get it over with. Junpei, I'm counting on you.
Right.
Lotus sat down on the chair. Junpei looked at her one last time, then made his way to the monitor.
Lotus, please, tell me right away if you feel anything weird.
You worry too much. Now get on with it and be a man, or June's gonna leave you.
Lotus was putting on the best act she could manage, but her legs were shaking so much that if she hadn't been sitting, she likely would have fallen down.
Lotus.
Failure was not acceptable.
Okay, let's do this.
Junpei took one last deep breath and stared at the monitor. I'm gonna save just in case. Two. 1, 2. Okay. So I need to change 3 more blocks. Oh wait. Oops. I thought I got it. Oh. Shit. Holy shit. Dude, I fucking hate this kind of puzzle. Fuck. So, 3, 2, 1, 2. Okay. I can get one side right, but not the other side. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna... Time to brute force this. How is this one easy? This is the hardest puzzle so far. You just got lucky. I did it! It's all using my brain. Damn straight.
The hallway goes to the left.
Yeah, but I don't see any doors.
Guess we just need to keep going.
Right. Let's go.
An elevator.
Just what we need. Let's take this to C deck.
In silence, they jogged up to it. Junpei pushed the C button. The elevator motor ground away, and before long, they found themselves once again on C deck. The door opened, and they stepped off.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Junpei, Lotus, and Seven nodded at one another and took off running down the long hallway in front of them. They ran and ran and ran. The hallway seemed endless.
I know where we need to go. The door behind the central staircase. There was a sun symbol on the keyhole of that door, and I happen to have the sun key in my pocket right now. This should open that door.
That was why they ran for the central staircase. They had run for quite some time when they arrived at the door that ended the hallway. The Jupiter door was already unlocked.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Junpei grabbed hold of the doorknob and threw it open. They rushed through and stopped cold. The terrible scene before them had made their blood run cold. 3 people lay dead on the floor, covered in blood.
Why?
Junpei felt the cold sweat trickle down his spine. He couldn't breathe. His legs shook. His body felt cold, deathly cold. But his blood was boiling hot. He could feel his mind begin to fade. He couldn't think, he couldn't concentrate. His mind was blank.
What the hell? What the hell happened?
Seven's voice was weak and broken. He edged towards the bodies, his movements stiff.
Clover.
He bent down over Clover and pressed his fingers to her wrist.
Nothing. She's dead.
Suddenly, Lotus moved. Before he understood what was happening, her hand was in Junpei's vest pocket.
Hey, what are you doing?
He looked back. Lotus looked up at him, terrified.
The key! Give me the sun key!
Why?
Why do you think? We have to get out of here before the murderer comes back!
The murderer?
Santa, Clover, and Ace. 3 people, 3 dead bodies.
It's okay, wait. Once I'm done with this route, I'm gonna do another route where probably there'll be more Ace scenes.
That means that the person who had killed them was... No, it can't be true.
Give it to me!
Before Junpei could react, Lotus dove back into his pocket and came out with the key.
Let's go!
Without waiting for Seven or Junpei, she ran straight for the central staircase. They followed. Junpei shut his eyes and swallowed his emotions. Morning would have to wait. Soon they stood in front of the door.
Open!
Lotus shoved the sun key into the keyhole and twisted it hard. But...
Why?
What happened?
Nothing. Nothing happened. I didn't feel it unlock.
Oh no. Is it the wrong key?
I don't know. Maybe.
Lotus sighed, defeated, and leaned against the doorknob. She felt it twist. A small gap appeared between the door and the frame.
It's open.
What the hell is this?
Wait, you mean the door was already unlocked?
Why?
And how would I know that? Whatever, let's just go.
Lotus took a deep breath and slowly opened the door the rest of the way. They stepped inside. Sayori! In front of them was another hallway. It stretched out towards the bow of the ship. They began to run. Faster and faster they ran, trying desperately to reach the end of the hallway. A few seconds later, they were there. In front of them stood a massive metal door. They were all breathing heavily as Junpei spoke.
What the hell is this door? I can't see anything that looks like a doorknob or switch or lever or card reader or anything. How the fuck are we supposed to open this?
We don't have a choice. We're gonna have to go back.
No, I'm not going back there. There is a murderer back there.
There was more stock terror in Lotus's voice than authority. She was almost begging.
But I don't see any other doors.
As he spoke, Seven stepped towards the door in front of them, as if to illustrate that it was the only door.
No way.
It opened by itself.
It's an automatic door?
Look, guys, I've got a really bad feeling about all this. The other doors were already unlocked, and this one's automatic. We haven't seen anything like this before.
Bad feeling.
How could their situation possibly get worse? 3 people were already dead.
We've hit bottom. This can't get any worse. Shit!
Hey, Junpei!
He stepped through the door.
I can't take this anymore. No one can.
And whatever hope Junpei had managed to summon disappeared.
No. It's a lie. It's gotta be. This can't be real. If it's a dream, just wake up already. Someone please tell me it's all just a joke. I'm imagining things. Yep, that's it. This is all obviously a lie. It's a big, elaborate trick. An illusion or something. Or a dream. It's made up.
It wasn't real, right, June? No, the code names meant nothing now.
Ah! Ah!
Connie.
Connie!
Junpei cried out and leapt through the door. He flew to her side, his heart like a stone in his chest.
Connie! Connie, hang on!
Junpei swept her up and shook her by the shoulder. She moaned, and her eyes fluttered open, but only barely.
Connie!
Jumpy?
Her face was pale and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei, but saw nothing. Junpei put his hand against the small of her back to hold her up. It felt warm and wet. He lifted his hand up. It was covered in blood.
Oh man. Connie. There's so much blood. What the hell happened to you? How did this happen?
It was all he could do not to burst into tears.
Jumpy, I'm sorry.
Her voice was thin, a minuscule thread that was the only thing keeping her with them.
I might not make it.
No way. No way I am going to let you die. I am going to save you. I promise.
Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Jumpy. Really happy.
Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times. You just gotta hang on. All right, Connie? You... Ow, what can I do? Damn it!
He looked up from Kane desperately for something, anything.
What's that? A submarine? What on earth is a submarine doing here? That's it!
Junpei turned his head back to look down at her.
Hang on, alright? There's a submarine over there. I'm gonna go see if it works.
No, don't go. Please, don't go. Please, just stay with me, okay? I want to be close to you, Jumpy. When I...
Connie.
Jumpy, did you know you meant a lot to me when we were kids?
Jumpy, did you know the freezing point of water is...
I've liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time.
Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame.
Junpei, do you remember how we hung out a lot when we were kids? We went to the pool and to the fair. Do you remember playing snowball at the school? They're all memories I'll never forget. All of those moments are treasures to me. But I also wanted to go to a lot of other places with you. A lot more. But that won't happen now.
No. I mean, yes. Yes, it will happen. We'll go all sorts of places, Connie. You hear me? I promise. We'll go wherever you want.
Really?
Yeah, really.
That makes me happy. Really happy.
She said it to herself over and over, a weak smile creasing her tired face.
Junpei, I feel sleepy.
No, Connie, don't fall asleep.
Thank you, Junpei. Thank you so much.
Her eyes were slowly closing. Junpei screamed, even as he felt his throat go hoarse.
Connie! Connie! Connie!
Time passed. Junpei wept, curled around Connie's body. He cried and cried until he had no tears left. When the last tear fell, Junpei was no more. His body remained, but only as an empty shell. Somewhere he heard a bell ring. It was the clock at the central staircase. It rang 5 times, then faded.
5 o'clock.
Quietly, gently, he set Connie down on the floor. Slowly, Junpei stood. Only then did he realize that Seven and Lotus had not followed him. Where had they gone? Slowly, he looked around the room. There was nothing. No sign that they had ever been there. It felt as though every part of Junpei's body was made of lead. Slowly, he made his way to the door he'd come through. As he approached it, it opened, sliding apart with a sound like grinding stone. Junpei passed through the gate and into the hallway. His heart rattled in his chest, an empty, lifeless thing. It had been so utterly broken that there was nothing left to feel. When he saw their bodies, he simply stared. It was a lake, a sea of blood. 2 bodies lay in it. There was no need to check, there was no breath left in them. His eyes lit on Lotus's wrist. Her bracelet, it was gone. He stared, it meant nothing to him. He didn't care anymore. He couldn't care anymore. Junpei's body felt numb. A part of him knew the lump of lead in his chest had once been a heart. He couldn't quite remember what it had been for. Tears poured from his eyes in great streams. He wasn't sure why. He gave up trying to make them stop. He turned around, the door opened again, and slowly, numbly, he walked through. He kept walking, halfway stopped. An object set in motion. Simple inertia carried him forwards. Eventually, he found himself in front of the submarine. His arm reached for the hatch. And then he was floating in water. His eyes stared down into it. He couldn't see the bottom. His back was hot. Dimly, he felt the blade of a knife in it. Who... One dead body lay behind door number 5, body of the 9th man. Another lay in the shower room, body of Snake. At the central staircase were 3 more, Ace, Santa and Clover. Just outside the door were 2 corpses, those of Seven and Lotus. And in this very room lay the body that had once been Connie. And now Junpei would join them. Who then had killed them all? Who... Junpei let out one last breath. Finally, faintly, he let the bubbles creep up the side of his face. His consciousness faded quickly, dissolving away into the cold, gentle lapping of the water. That was cool. Worst ending in the game. Let's go. No one is doing it like me. You're right. Oh, and once again the audio randomly muted, so I will have to end it here. Also, it's been 2 hours, and I want to get to sleep. So yeah. Next time I will go for a different ending. And yeah, so next time I'll go for a different ending. Hopefully at least one less person dies. So that'll be fun. I like what I'm super into this. They all died. Every single one of them. They got axe murdered or something. No, they got knife murdered. I think axe murder is in a different route. That rules. I can only go up from here is the thing. So yeah, thanks everyone for showing up. The end? Or is it? Yeah, we all died by yellow. Yeah. Sick. Hell yeah. Yo, this is cool. So there's 5 endings total. And I did real road for myself fuck into it as well. Fuck yeah. Okay, that's cool. Oh, no, I just accidentally went back to the thing. Back. Stop. Okay, cool. Okay, thank